Welcome to Conversation with a Conjurer. I'm Dan Rivington. With me, as always, Alex Johnson. And with us today is Dewayne Hill. Is it Dewayne or Dwayne?
Exactly.
All right, Dewayne.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go into how we even came to have you on the show? You want me to start off with that little bit of a story?
Sure, man. I'm game.
All right. So this was, we're part of this group, some magicians forum on Facebook, right? And he made a post and people were commenting and, just we're giving him hell, just going on, just pretty much talking shit more or less. And I was like, well, who is this guy? Why is he catching so much hell? And so I clicked over to his Facebook page and I saw that, he actually had, a big ass billboard. I'm like, man, y'all are tripping, man. He's actually doing something. He can afford a billboard to promote his magic. So he's doing something right. And so then I guess one thing led to another, and Dewayne reached out to me and said he wanted to be on the podcast, and here we go. So welcome on the show, Dewayne.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all having me here for sure.
You're a professional magician in the Tampa area.
I am, and I travel, coast to coast all year long performing for corporate events, associations, churches, country clubs, mainly adults. I don't really do the kid thing.
Now, probably a lot of people at home will be thinking corporate. How did you get in with that kind of gig?
I think there's a lot of misconceptions about getting into corporate work. The thing is, the more I'm into it as deep as I am, the more specialized you actually learn about the industry. People say corporate, they think, people in suits, they got colors in their hand, but it's actually a lot deeper than so in corporate that you can do. There's, one group of corporate decision makers that do one particular type of events. They have those events all over the country. You have another group of people that have a different type of corporate event. They have those all over the country. A lot of people think about the trade show work, trying to be a magician at a trade show or work a trade show booth. That's its own separate thing. So corporate is very vast, and, you can really get into falling down different rabbit holes when it comes to that. So what I had to learn how to do is I learned that different types of businesses over the course of time, I've learned what they do. So if I have a roofing company, I know what I'm going to pitch to them. If I have a pharmaceutical company, I know what I'm going to pitch to them. If I have a sales company, I know what I'm going to pitch to them. And all three of those people have their own separate type of events, and then they have them industry-wide. So I take that and I mushroom that, and I go after, 20 roofing companies, 20 pharmaceutical companies, 20 sales companies. You follow what I'm saying? So, what I'd start doing, you asked me about corporate, I started looking for patterns. I would look when I decided that I hated that feeling that I had when I was at the end of the year, at the end of December, you start January. It was kind of like that feeling like I'm starting all over, right? And whatever I just did the previous year, I got to rebuild it. And I hated that feeling of looking at my calendar and not knowing how many gigs I was going to have, having that uneasy feeling of, am I going to book this? Am I going to book that? It took me a long time to get to where I can look at my calendar now. I pretty much book shows at will. So I can look, and if I can decide to say, okay, I'm not working this weekend, I literally say I'm not working it. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way because I say I'm not working that weekend, and then I get an offer that's turned down, and it's like, I guess I'm working, So then I go out and I do the gig. But to get to that point where I say, okay, I'm not going to work this weekend because I'm making enough money the rest of the month to turn that weekend work away that weekend. It took me a while to get to that. And I'm at a point now where I've developed a sales system and a corporate booking system that I'm able to do that.
So I was wanting to ask you a question. The billboard, just getting back on the billboard.
Okay.
Sorry, because I've never seen any other magician with a billboard. So you're saying you're booking corporate events. What was the specific advertisement? What was the billboard for? Was that just for your name, or was that to try to help you get gigs in the area?
I was pushing people to two things on that particular landing page. One, people's big birthdays they were having, and two, it was going after the corporate. Those are the main two things. Those are the main two things I was doing.
I'm sure you probably got tons of birthday party calls.
Yeah, what I did was I had a special vanity number that tracked.
Okay, you mentioned tracking
those calls, so that way when that call came in, I knew that was coming in from my building.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you have anybody?
I don't know if you struggle with this. Dwayne, but I keep getting leads coming through, and they come through quite a lot, and it's for kids' parties, and just because I'm a magician. Do you still get stuff like that coming through, like kids' parties? And no. Is that because of your branding or your website? Why do you think that is?
Well, one thing is, like, if you go to my website, you'll be hard pressed to find a picture of me doing a show for a child. One. Mm-hmm. Two, I'm at a price point where pre-qualifies people not to call me for Timmy's 10-year-old birthday party. But a lot of it, I think, has to do with website. If someone's looking for what I call here the pizza and punch show, having pizza and punch by the pool, and it's, Timmy's turning 9 and he likes magic. I'm not that guy. My videos communicate that I'm not that guy. I don't push that guy. I don't advertise that guy. I don't post pictures of that guy. There's plenty of other dudes that want to do that. I'm not that guy. Now, I do get occasional calls where people don't know and they're saying, hey, we're having a party or whatever. I mean, I'm at a point now where I'm busy performing so much for adults that I just tell people straight up, look, if people say, hey, we're having a kids party, like, look, I'm probably not the guy. Let me refer you to somebody that does that. I'm not that person, And then every once in a while, I have someone that will just be kind of insistent and they're curious or they're nosy. Well, if you were that guy, what would the fee? I tell them the same thing I tell corporate, hey, it's, we're $2,500, $3,000. Now, if you want to pay that for Timmy's birthday party, then, I'll rock it out. But that's the fee.
That'd be a rich Timmy, huh?
I'm not that $300 magician that's doing pizza by the pool. I'm not that guy.
Were you ever that guy, getting started?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was, scrambling for work, just eager. And I think a lot of magicians get caught up into that. They're eager just to try to take any gig.
Right.
And I think some of that is to prove to naysayers or to prove to themselves that they can actually make money as a magician.
Or they might just take money.
Just to, point, look and say, look, I performed. Look, I performed and I got paid to do it. Believe it or not, I think it's a broken mentality that's in our community we need to fix because it's lowering the payout across the board. The only reason why people are calling magicians and thinking that they can book a top-notch magician for $400 is because there are magicians out there accepting $400, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You're in Leeds in the UK, right? So me and Alex can talk. I know, like, to take my car to a garage and get it looked at. Me and Alex, I know how it is in the UK. For us to take our car to a garage, United States standard for mechanics to look at our cars just to do a diagnostic is $89 to $120. Alex, you think, is that true?
I mean, yeah, by $120 an hour here.
Okay, so we know that. So how do I look going to a mechanic and say, hey, I want you to diagnose my car for $30?
He'd laugh.
I mean, you can't do it.
He would hand you a little machine and say, plug it in, you try to read it.
He'll tell you to go to, Advance or AutoZone or something and have them, use a little pocket scanner and try to tell you what's wrong with your car, right? Because you can't do that in that industry. You can't go to a heart surgeon and say, look, man, yeah, I know you're, $40,000 for heart surgery, but hey, I got 7. Can you do it for 7? Why are we allowing that in the magic community?
I think it's more desperation creates that kind of situation where
exactly, and that's a mistake.
And also maybe a lot of people getting started about not know how to set their price. If you don't have any sort of proof or record, then you meet somebody that, I want to book you. How much is it? And you tell them $200 an hour or whatever you want to charge.
Right.
And then they're like, well, no, I can't afford that. Then you'd automatically turn and say, okay, well, I'll do it for 150 or 100 or whatever.
That is a great pricing mistake, right? So what I call it similar to like what I call the flea market mentality, right? You go to a flea market or, one of those open markets, where you got the people out there selling trinkets or whatever, right?
Right.
You pick it up, you ask the guy, you say, how much is this? And the guy looks at you and he goes, you know what? I like you, man. I'll sell it to you for $4. And you stop and you go, He says, all right, give me $3 and you take it. And you give the guy $3 and then you walk off and then you think to yourself, like, was it really $3 or could I got it for $2? Right? So you temporarily feel good that you got it. But when you really think about it afterwards, you're like, was that really the real price? Right? So what I've learned.
Are you talking about from the buyer's perspective, from the customer's perspective?
Exactly.
If you do good at performance, I don't think that they would really question, if you're charging $400 versus $350 or whatever. Right?
But the thing is,
in your case, $2,000. But if you walk up wearing a Rolex watch and you're talking to a CEO, you're saying, I want $3,000. Give me $3,000 for what I do.
But the reason why that a lot of people aren't booking magicians for the price that they're booking is because they don't believe that's the real price.